Hi, welcome to Kutopia, our very own knitting utopia. My name is Sonia. Here's the hand again. And I'm coming to you from Helsinki, Finland. Today is Sunday, August 6th, 2023. And I'm really sorry about the last episode. Some of you might have seen it before I had the chance to delete it, but there was no sound. I managed to film my clips for that episode just before we started our summer holiday trip, our 2-week holiday trip, and then I tried to edit those clips while we were traveling. I started to edit them on my phone that I'm using to film right now. Excuse me. And then I continued the editing on my mom's computer and then finished it when we were back at home. And I don't know what happened. Everything works fine on our home computer, but the 2 times that I have uploaded the film to YouTube, the sound keeps disappearing. And that bums me out. But water under the bridge, I'm not fine with it, but let's just forget about that. I'm not gonna be talking about those 2 Vertices Unite shawls today. I can't do it again. But I am thinking about doing a sort of West Knits special episode sometime before October. So then I will tell you everything about those 2 Vertices Unite shawls. If you're interested about seeing a West Knits special episode, please leave a comment down below. But tonight, it's not a night. Today I want to share with you 2 of the whips that I had with me when we were traveling. So let's jump to it. So no FOs today, just 2 whips. Both of these whips were my travel projects in our 2-week holiday trip. I like to have a sort of project per occasion. A special dedicated project for every occasion. Yes. If I'm watching Olympics, I have Olympics project. If I'm traveling, I have a travel project, and so on. There are Christmas projects, and you get the trips. So, for our trip, we had quite a lot of driving to do. The husband did the driving, and I sat on the back seat with the kid because I hate to drive. I have a phobia of driving, but that's not. Let's not get into that right now. But yeah, so I had a lot of time to knit on the back seat of our rented car with a kid. So I wanted to have something small and easy, just to keep my hands busy. I didn't have to really look at what I was doing, and so I could focus my attention to either the kid or the beautiful scenery. As you can see, I was sitting behind driver's seat because of where everything was. But yeah, so I decided to knit myself a JASKA Beanie, and this is where we are right now. I just Yeah, I just started to do the decreases this morning. So honestly, it's a 2-hour job and we're done with the beanie. It's this lovely, lovely colorway. It's called Fig. The yarn that I'm using, yes, I still have the yarn band. I quite often get rid of these as soon as as soon as yarn starts to look like this, but this time I still have it. So let me just, the yarn that I'm using is Sahelmeyer Regia Premium Silk. It's a 4-ply sock yarn that has 55% wool, 25% polyamide, and 20% silk. Yeah, that adds up to 100%. And I just really, yeah, the color actually looks quite all right this time. Wow, yeah, pretty spot on. I really love this color, and I went to buy gray yarn for my hat and came back with this one, but I'm not even sorry. I think this is gonna be lovely, lovely for me. JASKA Beanie is a pattern. Usually I could just give you the name of the designer, but once again I'm blacking out completely, but everything should be in the box down below. But yes, JASKA Beanie is this very, very straightforward, very easy knitted beanie. It's knitted using twisted rib. I have an example here, so I'm not sure which one I want to show to you, so I'm not showing anything. But yes, very, very simple beanie using twisted rib, 1x1 twisted rib, and then it has these beautiful decreases on the top of the head, and the decreases are actually because you decrease on every round and not on every other round, which is quite common for hats. This makes a hat or beanie that sits quite closely to your head. And this is my husband's. I think I showed you this in the very first episode of Kutopia 2.5 years ago. So it has seen quite a lot of wear ever since, and it has stretched out a bit because I remember this being very, very like fitting, quite a narrow fit on my head. But now, well, it's not loose in here, but there is some height to it. There wasn't. Yeah. And that has me thinking, because hair, because I have a big head, and I'm using the biggest size in the pattern, but still I added quite a few centimeters to the height before I started the decreases. But this is the same yarn. This is also Regia Premium Silk, and if this has I've struggled with this word before. In Finnish, it's venyä, stretch. If this has stretched that much, in the past 2.5 years, then maybe I should rip some of this, rip back a few centimeters and start to decrease these earlier. Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do, because I want this to be a good hat. I want this to be a go-to beanie for fall and springtime. Well, here in Helsinki, this is southern Finland, so I can probably get away with wearing this in the winter time as well, if it's not too cold. But yes, I want this to be a wardrobe staple, as I want with all of my knits. So yes, I'm gonna rip back a few centimeters and start the decreases earlier. That's what we're gonna do. But yeah, even even with this new plan, that's few hours of knitting at most, and then I have a beautiful new beanie to wear. I need to do some depiling for this, but I think the yarn has held up quite well, considering that my husband is not that careful with his clothes. So I have high hopes with this one as well, because I tend to be more careful with my clothes. But yeah, this is the first whip that I wanted to share with you. I'm really loving this color. Everything lilac, lavender, purple, all that jazz is really speaking to me right now. Yes. But yes, that was that. That was the first one. It's quite a warm day once again. Apparently we're waiting for this big ass thunderstorm arriving tomorrow, so hopefully the you know, the heavy feeling you get before thunder. That's what we're having right now. I'm struggling. Yes. On to the second whip. So I had my JASKA Beanie to work on the car, because for me, I'm a sucker for twisted rip. I don't have to watch what I'm doing when I'm doing twisted rip. It's a muscle memory thing. And I forgot to mention that I'm using 2.25 millimeter needles with that one. But yeah, no longer JASKA Beanie. Let's move on. So I had my JASKA Beanie to work on the car, but it was a 2-week trip, and I had planned myself quite a lot of knitting time, obviously, since it was my holiday as well. It was all of our holiday, and we wanted to do things that we love, and me included. So I knew that one project would definitely not be enough, and rather than finishing one thing and then starting another, I wanted to have a car project and sitting down project. And so my sitting down project was no, it still is, it's not finished, a Lento jumper pullover by Jonna Hietala. It's looking lovely. Not that summery, but definitely This will definitely get so much wear. So, where to begin? I feel like I've talked this, I've shared these things with you already, but you didn't hear any of it. So it's it's hard to do it again. I'm not a repeater. No, I am. I definitely am. But yes, Lento is this, as you can see, it's this beautiful, um, basic in a good way jumper. It's worked seamlessly top down. You start with this folded neckline that I love. I can't remember the last time I did not make a folded neckline on my own sweaters or jumpers. This is just, it's a favorite of mine. Then you have this raglan increases. You leave your sleeves waiting, and then you work down on your hem. It's just a straight hem, no decreases or increases of any kind. So very brainless knit. But there is a one catch. No? And the catch is that although this is a very lightweight jumper, it's knit using you knit it holding two strands of yarn together. You have one strand of fingering weight yarn. In my case, this is superwash merino. A bit of a surprise there. And then the other strand is silk lace weight silk mohair. This is Sandnes Gone Tune silk mohair in black. And so like normally you would knit these sort of yarns together using maybe a 4mm needle, 4.5mm needle. But with Lento, you're using 6mm needle. And when you're using 6mm needle, you get this really flowy, no, not flowy, trapey, beautiful trapey fabric. That's just, it's gonna be so soft to wear. And also it's pretty breathable, which is good in my case. And since you're using silk mohair, that fluffiness of the mohair actually it fills in the gaps, because your fabric is quite loose, but the fluffiness of the mohair fills all the gaps, and this is not see-through. This does not look like you've been knitting with these way too large needles. It does not look like that. The fabric is beautiful. And so I don't know why I haven't knit Lento before, because this breathable fabric is just what I need. Because I tend to sweat. But yeah, it's beautiful. As you can tell, I have already finished my hem. I did the tuber bind off, and now I just need to work on the sleeves, and then we're good to go. Well, we're not good to go, because it's gonna be at least September before I can actually wear this, but yeah, it's gonna be beautiful. The sleeves in the pattern are 3/4 length sleeves, but I need to see. Even though I always wear my sleeves like this, I very rarely wear my sleeves down, but for some reason I want my sleeves to be long. Anyways, maybe I need the option to to roll them up. I don't want the decision to be made for me. I don't know, but yeah, we shall see. I need to, because obviously the 3/4 length sleeves are part of the design and they look very nice, but I need to be practical and think about what works best for me. I think I want to try this on. Hold on. Okay, if I wasn't sweating before, I definitely am now, but it's worth it. I mean, oh, let me just. The lighting is not ideal today. It alternates between sunny and cloudy, and it's not ideal. I'm thinking about getting one of those ring lights. Are those any good? But yeah. The fifth is quite perfect. I am knitting the 6th size, I think. Yes, I'm knitting the 6th size, and I'm actually using 5.5mm needles because I couldn't find my 6mm needles when we were leaving. So that was decision made for me. But I also knew that with my loose gauge, the going down half a needle size is no big deal, and it really wasn't a big deal. This is lovely. And the hem comes, it's a bit longer than I intended to, just because when I was trying it on when I was finishing the hem, we were staying with my parents, and then my mom said that I would make it a bit longer. And so, as you do, I listened to my mom, and it's gonna be okay. Yeah, it's a good length. I tend to tuck my sweaters into my jeans and pants, trousers, skirts, whatever I'm wearing. So that's why I've been leaning more to the, not cropped per se, but to a more cropped length. But I think this is such a flowy fabric that it will tuck beautifully even if it's a bit longer. Yeah. But yes. Yeah. That's so beautiful. Okay, the yarn. As you can see, this is very dark. It almost looks like it's a dark gray, but actually, well, I showed you already, I'm using black silk mohair, and then I actually have a very, very, very subtle fade in here. So I had in my yarn stash 2 skeins of, I want to show this show this all at once. I had 2 skeins of Malaprico Machito in the colorway Eggplant. It's this beautiful, beautiful dark aubergine eggplant. So I had 2 skeins. I can't remember what the original plan was. What can you do with 2 skeins when you're my size? But yeah, the original plan has long since been forgotten, and then I couldn't find more of this yarn easily enough, because I didn't have a specific project in my mind, and every now and then I would search the online yarn stores to see if they had any of this particular colorway left, and they never had, so I didn't bother with it. But earlier this year, I think in the very beginning of this year, Amy Palco and Rebecca Clow hosted a Lento Cal, and everybody was knitting lentils. I think I talked about that cal in some of the episodes, but I didn't. I didn't participate. I didn't think I had proper yarn for it. But then I saw the Lento that Whitney from Knitted by Whitney made herself, and she did a faded Lento. She had this big basket full of advent minis. So she picked up this beautiful lilac fade out of that basket, and then she used a single strand of, I think, the mohair Osuri alpaca. The fluffy yarn was also lilac, if I remember correctly. But anyways, the end result was beautiful. She did such a beautiful job with the fade. And so that had me thinking, could I make a sort of fade with my Malabricos? Because I really love this colorway. It looks like nothing when I show it in here, but it's because you never want to knit just a black sweater. You can see what you're doing, and it's gonna be so boring. But this is kind of close enough to that black sweater. So I have 2 skeins of this, and I went to my local yarn store Snurre. If you're ever in Helsinki, please check it out. It's in right in the city center, and it's beautiful. And so I went to Snurre and I looked around all of their hand-dyed merinos, all of their superwash merinos, because I wanted to have yarn with similar base, so it would act similarly while knitting and wearing. And I looked around. I had my Malabrigo with me, so I could find something either close enough or something that would complement the 2 existing skeins. Because you're working with such a big yarns, with such big needles when you're doing Lento, it means that it does not take that much of a yarn. So we're really talking about 3 skeins of fingering weight yarn. For me, that's not a lot. And so from Snurre, I found this, also not looking like much, but it's this beautiful dark brown semi-solid hand-dyed merino yarn. This is Madeline Tosh Merino Light, and the colorway is called Horror Hostess. And I was hesitating with combining brown and black yarn. The black yarn, which I have already lost, it's in here. This is not my go-to color combination, but since the Malaprico and Madeleine Toche have something similar. There is some kind of undertone in here that works together. So I thought that it's good enough. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be good enough. So I picked this Madeleine Toche with me. And actually, let me take this off real quick. Okay. So let me just turn this. Then turn this. So it is actually such a subtle fade that you can barely see it in the daylight. I can't even tell you whether it's not much. There is not a lot of the horror hostess happening in here. Maybe around here. But obviously the camera quality is not good enough to show it to you. But believe me, it's it's very subtle in a daylight as well. And I managed to, because as per usual, I'm not planning this very carefully. I just do. So when I started to knit this, I had my two Malaprico cakes, and then I had my Madeleine Toche cake, and I sat there in the cabin that we had rented. Oh, I sat outside. I think we were barbecuing or something, and I just look at the three cakes and sort of very quickly decided which one of those Malaprico cakes was a lighter one, because I wanted the I wanted to do the fade as well as I could. So I wanted it to go from slightly lighter to slightly darker, and I think I nailed it, because there is much more of these lighter sections, lighter bits going on in the top part than there is in the middle. You can't really tell right now, but believe me, it's there. So yes, these are the two whips that I'm working on. There is actually a third whip that is I started on a whim on the trip as well, but I have just it's in the same place as the Lento one, so the body is done, and all that I have left to do are the sleeves, but I just wet blocked it yesterday, and it's still so wet that I really can't share with you today, so you're gonna have to wait for that one. But hopefully the next time I'm filming, I'll have two sweaters to share with you. Is that even possible? It was a really good holiday, believe me on that one. Okay, so JASKA and Lento, these are the two whips that I'm actively working on right now. I think tonight I'm gonna focus on the JASKA Beanie, because it's so close to finishing that it's like snowballing the depth. I really want to finish that one before diving into my Lento. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I hope the beginning of August has been beautiful for you, has been nice for you, and feel free to comment or subscribe or give a thumbs up if you liked this sweaty rambling of this Sunday. and I hope to see you next time. Bye!